In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Alright folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome to the...
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get set again.
So, Russ, we're getting ready to start the show. Did you wipe the server yet?
Hold on, let me get my cloth.
Oh, man. It's going to be that type of night. Here we go.
Get ready to fight from within. You're about to go behind enemy lines on K98.
Roger, 3-2. Goliath copies all. Go ahead. Target is surrounded by multiple firms entering what appears to be a residential area. Requesting permission to engage.
From the People's Republic of New York City, you're now going behind enemy lines with Gene Baradelli and Russ Gallo.
And you are now behind enemy lines. Hey there, how you doing? Gene Baradelli here, Russ Gallo there. Russ, how you doing, pal?
What's going on, Gene B?
Oh, there's a whole lot of messing going on right now. I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, because I know that you're kind of in and out of civilization, but there's Hillary's on Snapchat, and another video came out from Planned Parenthood. There's a whole bunch of mess going on right now.
First of all, I want to say, for the past few weeks, thank you to everyone who's been filling in for me.
Yeah, you wipe down that microphone, though? 'Cause
Tremendous
it's got a little
job.
messy.
Tremendous job. Great job. And a hat tip to Eugene for giving me my credits for some of my predictions.
We always talked about, whenever we predict something, we should mark the tape and come back to it later on. Now, happen to be something, week 1, you predict something, week 2, you come back to it. Russ Geller predicted a week before the debates happened that it would be the most watched debate of all time, and it was.
Well, mark this one down, Gene.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying I'm a Trump guy
I
just
feel it
yet.
coming. Oh, you're a Trump-servative?
But I'm a re-Trumpican right now. I think this guy is not only going to win the Republican nomination, I think he trounces the Democratic nominee. And get this, double prediction. Hillary's not going to be the Democratic nominee. She probably will be indicted well before the election. Mark it, Gene.
All right, we're marking the tape right now. Everybody, we're at 3 minutes into the show this week. Put it down in the books. Russ Geller says Trump president, Hillary not even the nominee. Well, I know we didn't plan on this, Russ, in our show prep, but I need to know this from you about Donald Trump, because I've been asking this online all day. By the way, Behind Enemy Lines' Facebook presence has blown up this week. We want to thank the tens of thousands of people. We're up over 70,000 people this week that have visited Behind Enemy Lines Radio on Facebook. Thank you so much, one and all, that have done that. But I've been asking this online all week.
I'm not really familiar with the Facebooks. Is it like Snapchat? What is that about?
You're not on the Facebooks. Don't even worry about it.
Okay, as long as you got that going. Then
but I got to ask you this, though, Russ. Trump's in the lead. He's pulling away. No candidate has dropped out yet. For Trump to win, I'm going to put out a premise. You tell me if you agree or disagree. For Trump to win, candidates that fall out of the race, he needs to get some crossover from those supporters. Yes or no?
For the sake of the argument, I'll go along with it, sure.
Okay. Where does he get support from to get the majority of Republicans behind him? Because there's a lot of rhinos out there, right, pal? I mean, aren't they going to go to other rhinos?
I think it's quite clear. If you look at the top 5 candidates, and every poll they switch out slightly, but the majority of the top 5 seem to be non-establishment type Republicans. And when you look at a lot of these people that are doing it, and we have lobbyist friends, some of which are in our chat room right now, we'll tell you how to get on there later on in the show. But when we talk to some of our lobbyist friends and people in the know, they talk about money, right? Well, a lot of these outsider candidates have some trouble raising money. Trump doesn't have this issue just yet because he's self-financing most of his race. But when you talk about guys like Ben Carson or Carly Fiorina, a lot of these outsiders, Rick Perry
ran out of money.
They're running out of money, or they're having trouble raising money. Yet they're still doing very well in the polls, which smashes some other theories that these people that we talk to have. But that aside, as these outsiders that are in the top 5 currently drop out, an outsider, someone who supports an outsider like Ben Carson, isn't jumping onto the Jeb Bush bandwagon after Carson drops out.
But those people aren't dropping out anytime soon.
They're not.
They're going to be around.
But they're not. Okay, but this is where I do agree with some of our wacky lobbyist friends.
You almost said liberal. You get that?
And some of these lobbyists that and advisors to the Republican candidates are in fact liberals or rhinos or whatever you want to call them. It does take some money. Not necessarily to get your message out there, which it definitely plays a role. But your Republican primary voting universe is small. These people listen to talk radio and watch Fox News. So it doesn't take much money to reach these voters. What does take money, Gene, what does take a lot of money is getting into these early primary states and running a nationwide presidential race and having your name appear in all 50 states on the ballot. This is a problem that Rudy Giuliani faced when he ran, and lots of other candidates who seem like they're going to be great candidates but can't even raise enough money or build a strong enough organization to appear on the ballot. No one can tell me that Donald Trump will have that problem. He will be able to hire the right people in all 50 states to appear on the ballot. A guy like Ben Carson with no political background and not a lot of money in his account won't be able to do it. And neither will a person like Carly Fiorina in all likelihood.
All right, that's good enough for me. Now let's get back on topic of what we wanted to talk about. I'm going to flip a coin. It's either Hillary or Hillary. So let's go flip, and it's heads. Hillary Clinton, this week, making some news, once again talking about Emailgate and the email server, this never-ending situation that is probably going to last throughout the end of the year, in my opinion, Russ. But the reason why it's going to last longer is not just because of the emails that have to be sifted through, and we get more and more news about that every week. It's because of Hillary Clinton herself. The woman cannot stop putting her foot in her mouth, Russ. And I'm loving every minute of it.
So you think she's putting her foot in her mouth? You don't think she's doing the masterful Clinton duck, dodge, weave. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a political scandal type
Dodge,
thing.
duck, dip, dive, and dodge? No, I don't think she's doing that at all.
I thought her latest back and forth with Ed Henry from Fox News was quite telling. I mean, I thought she did a good job. I'm convinced. I think it's an open and shut case. Close the book, Dano.
Well, you know what? I'm going to bring back a phrase from our Brooklyn GOP radio days, and we'll let you, the listeners, be the judge.
So that's all I could say. I'm not, I have no idea. That's why we turned it over.
You were in charge of it. You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something? No. Well, no.
How it works digitally. Did you try to wipe the whole server?
I don't know how it works digitally at all. I do not have any.
You did not try.
Ed, I know you want to make a point, and I can just repeat what I have said. In order to be as cooperative as possible, we have turned over the server. They can do whatever they want to with the server to figure out what's there or what's not there. That's for the people investigating it to try to figure out. But we turned over everything that was work related, every single thing.
Come on.
Are you serious?
Tell me that wasn't the most contrived thing you've ever heard in your life.
Let's hear it with a cloth.
Let's hear this one part one more time. I just got to do it again.
I'm not, I have no idea.
Come on now.
And
this is a presidential candidate?
I mean, make no mistake about it. That statement was crafted before she came out. That response, the wiped it with a cloth. You better believe she thought about that before she came out there. And this is the best they can come up with.
I guarantee you that was the private joke going around the campaign office before she went out there.
This is a serious matter, Gene. It's a serious matter, and Hillary, a woman who's running for president, would never joke about such a serious thing. Never.
I don't know. I put it to Hillary. Hillary, would you ever joke about something like this?
I'm not, I have no idea.
So, see, she doesn't even know.
She's serious. She would never joke around about something. So she's under investigation by the FBI. This is a serious matter. She's running for president.
We can have a lot of fun with this. Hey, Hillary, what do you think about Planned Parenthood?
I'm not, I have no idea.
It works on so many levels. We can talk about a million different things with Hillary Clinton. But you know what? Let's give Hillary her due. She is down with the kids on Snapchat. I think that's just...
I don't even know what Snapchat is, so this should be good.
All right, well, listen, Hillary
I'll
Clinton...
Google it while you play the clip.
Yeah, okay. Here's Hillary Clinton talking about her new Snapchat account. Snapchat. You hear that? Snapchat. I don't know why I did that. But check this out. This is hilarious.
By the way, you may have seen that I recently launched a Snapchat account. I love it. I love it. Those messages disappear all by themselves.
All right, so
yeah,
Gene,
this is all a joke.
No, hold on, Gene.
Did you just say Hillary Clinton? You lied to me, Russ Gallo.
I made a mistake, and I see that Snapchat is something that makes it... But, Gene, this joke that she just told, first of all, the delivery was terrible. This was clearly scripted, and it was awful. An awful joke, scripted. She's joking around about the fact that she... Folks, she could go to jail for what she is being accused of doing.
She's joking around about the fact that she exposed classified information and allowed it to be accessible in a server in a bathroom in Colorado for all the world to go and try to get.
The emails that they're trying to view on there range from a whole host of issues, conspiracies, crimes. We're talking about money given to her husband and her for speeches while she was Secretary of State to the Clinton Foundation, which they used as a personal piggy bank. While she's Secretary of State, while these nations that are donating the money to this foundation are receiving favorable treatment from our country. Number one. Number two, Benghazi. Americans died. I know. We shouldn't even, what difference does it make now? We could play that clip too if we want later. The emails are about that too. This is a major investigation. It's turning into a criminal probe. And this woman is joking around about the fact that they scrubbed these emails and erased the emails, and that Snapchat erases them automatically. She's joking around about this. Just imagine if Dick Cheney or George Bush was accused of the same and came out and made a joke about it in front of the press. This is disgraceful behavior from a presidential candidate. Disgraceful.
Absolutely right. Hillary, do you think that you are going to be going to jail over this?
I'm not, I have no idea.
Well, we have an idea. And we think you definitely should be. I don't know if you saw it, Russ, but during this press conference with the stammering and the confrontation with Ed Henry, she was wearing an orange pantsuit. I wonder if that's foreshadowing for Secretary Clinton.
I heard some jokes about this. Orange is the new black. That was pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, it was, and you have to see the suit. It's just absolutely ridiculous. By the way, there's a photo to go along with the stammering that is circulating around the internet. It was an epic fail day for Hillary Clinton.
I mean, I just want to bring up two names. One is sort of local, but he made national news, and the other one is definitely national. General Petraeus got accused of something very similar, much smaller scale, and he did not try to obstruct justice, by the way. Obstruction of justice, serious crime. Hillary Clinton is beyond guilty of obstruction of justice. Whether or not there's an underlying crime there, she is obstructing justice, 100%. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor of mishandling classified information. Hillary Clinton is beyond a shadow of a doubt guilty of at least that. So this Justice Department better go in for the kill on that one. The next one I just want to bring up is my own former congressman, Michael Grimm, who was convicted of some tax evasion or tax cheating a decade ago, and he's actually, I don't know if he's
getting ready to go to
reported for his federal sentence yet, but he's going to do a few months in federal prison, okay, for a very small crime that
comparatively much more insignificant.
Yes, and this woman is running for president. Mark my words, this woman will not appear on the ballot come the presidential race. Forget about the primary. Joe Biden, what are you waiting for, dude? What are you waiting for? Governor Cuomo, New York Governor Cuomo, why are you not jumping in the race, bro? I know why. I've been saying this for years too. Mark down another prediction. Governor Cuomo thinks he's going to get indicted his damn self in New York for some other stuff that's going on. For those of you guys who are not from New York, the Speaker of the Assembly, Sheldon Silver, jail.
The majority leader
Dean
of the
Skelos,
Senate
Republican
here?
Party, Senate, on trial, on his way probably to jail. They joke around in New York, 3 men in a room. It's the Speaker of the Assembly, the majority leader in the Senate, and the governor. So guess who's probably going down for the count? Any Democrat with a little bit of national name recognition needs to get in this race. Why are they waiting?
Well, I mean, listen, the two big names out there, I see it in the chat room right now. And by the way, folks, during our live shows here on Behind Enemy Lines on We Are America Radio, the #1 political talk station on Live365.com, we got a chat room going on, and it is hopping every week. Lots of great conservatives and some rhinos here and there as well, contributing to our idea pool, and we interact with them during the show. We steal information from... I'm sorry, we don't steal. We borrow information from the chat room every now and then, and we put it on air. And one of the names coming up in the chat room right now, Russ, is Al Gore. That's how far back you have to reach to go into the Democratic bench on a national scale.
We're moving forward, Gene. The Democratic Party is moving forward to 1998 Al Gore.
We're moving forward with rich, white, 1% males. That's what we're doing, Russ.
Because global warming is real, and Al Gore knows all. He's a scientist.
Listen, the science is settled. I don't even want to get into it. That's a whole other can of worms. But, whatever. But, Hillary, what do you think about Joe Biden possibly entering the race?
I love it.
She loves it. So there you go.
You Democrats listening, you have to be ashamed of yourself.
And we know you're listening out there, okay? Especially around the People's Republic of New York City. You're outnumbering us 8-1. The 7 out of our 8 listeners are Democrats.
Look at the debate on the Republican side. Look at the whole host of candidates differing. I know this is important to you Democrats and a lot of you rhinos, that we have Hispanics and women and blacks and all kinds of people on the Republican stage. That's not really that important to me. I'm talking about, look at the diversity of ideas on the Republican stage. We have debates. We have Fox News, a supposedly conservative news outlet, trying to sabotage the Republican Party and its frontrunner right now. We're a vibrant, young party. And look who you guys are putting up. You guys have Hillary Clinton. God knows how old she is.
Oh, Social Security age for sure.
Bernie, I don't own a comb, Sanders.
Oh, come on, listen, I like his hair.
Joe, I have hair plugs and fake teeth, grills, whatever he's got, Biden.
If he enters the race, it's going to be a big effing deal, Russ.
And now we're looking back in time.
We're not done yet. We got more.
O'Malley. We're really going to mention O'Malley?
O'Malley. Jim Webb. O'Malley wants the tax range.
Jim Webb.
Come on. viable candidates.
Who are
Come
these
on.
people?
I don't even
So
know.
let's go back and let's move forward to 1996 and dig Al Gore back out of the crypt.
Literally.
Maybe we can dust off John Edwards. You know what? Some time has passed since his.
Yeah, but I don't think enough time has passed because he might still be in the pokey. Well, listen, Al Gore might be a breath of fresh air.
Maybe John Kerry can add some excitement into the Democratic race.
It's Hillary and the Four Dwarves right now, Russ. I mean, come on. At least people know who Al Gore is from his great network that he ran, that then turned into Al Jazeera. At least they know him from his talk about, climate change and global warming, and yet he has one of the biggest carbon footprints in the state of Tennessee. They know the guy, and they love the guy.
Nothing you said is a lie, but how can we just gloss over so quickly? Al Gore's failed liberal network turned into Al Jazeera.
Hey, by the way, quick fact, Behind Enemy Lines in all its incarnations has been on the air longer than Al Gore's network.
And I'll make this pledge to all of our listeners now. Behind Enemy Lines will never become Al Jazeera or anything else Al.
It'll maybe become Al Gallo-Zera, but that's about it. Jeez. Listen, time for our first commercial break here. We're going to come back and talk a lot more Hillary, I'm sure. And we got to get into the whole new video from Planned Parenthood. It is probably the most shocking and disgusting one yet. Gene and Russ, Behind Enemy Lines. We'll be back after these brief words from station identification and paying a couple of bills.
Are you among the 64% of Americans who believe our country is going in the wrong direction? If yes, then eVoiceAmerica.com is the political take-action site we've all been waiting for. And it's really free. eVoice America provides your personal list of elected reps every time you log on. This makes it so easy to email your opinions and e-votes on top issues directly to each of our D.C. elected representatives. eVoice then publishes our e-vote majority percentages on top issues to each member of Congress and the media. Now, for the first time in history, we can know what millions of American citizens are telling Congress. No more gridlock. Join the new American majority using eVoiceAmerica.com, putting Americans in control of Congress. Visit eVoiceAmerica.com today. It's free and easy to use. That's eVoiceAmerica.com.
Hey everybody, Gene Baradelli here, and for those of you who know me, who have met me at a conference around the country, or have just even seen my photo online, you know I'm not the most fit guy in the world. In fact, exercise and I are not good friends at all. But I'm starting to do it more, and I'm starting to eat right, and I'm going to start taking Diabetics from Green Turtle Bay Vitamin Company. Diabetics is the first FDA-authorized multivitamin supplement for diabetics and for those like me who are predisposed to diabetes and have difficulty absorbing nutrients. Diabetics contains ingredients not included in multivitamin formulas for the general public and is unique for people like me who have diabetes running in their family. So I'm going to start eating right, I'm going to start taking Diabetics, I'm going to start exercising more, and I'm going to take you on this journey with me. That's Diabetics with a K, one of the many great supplements from Green Turtle Bay Vitamin Company. For more information, check out www.energywave.com.
Behind Enemy Lines. Back on the air.
Gene and Russ, back behind enemy lines. What are you laughing about over there?
I'm gonna have to tip the hand, Gene. I'm gonna tell everybody on the radio right now. Little known fact, that last commercial. By the way, thank you to our new sponsor. Little known fact, Gene not only did the voiceover for that ad, he was also playing the bass. No joke. That was him playing the bass and doing the voiceover. Unbelievable. This man, is there anything this man can't do?
Because you know I'm all about that bass. Anyway, of course, thanks to our new sponsor, Diabetics, and you'll be hearing a lot more about them in the coming weeks. I'm going to the gym now, Russ. It's kind of scary.
I see.
But,
buffed out.
Why, thank you very much. I'm just going over here and over there. And of course, you guys all know that I was just flexing right now. Back on topic. And the topic is the buffoonish campaign of Hillary Rodham Clinton.
And the criminal crime family that is the Clintons.
Yes. Is there a bigger crime family than the Clintons right now? Between you and me. I mean, and our listeners, of course.
I mean, I really want to add a vowel to the end of that name.
The Clintoninis.
The Clintoninis from Bay Ridge.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Bill, what you doing over there? Yeah,
you notice Bill is nowhere to be found no more. He's not hanging out with her anymore. That's it.
Speaking of Bill.
He's like, I don't need no more heat. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Bill, he may have had a hand in selecting a couple of campaign offices around the country, including the one in Charleston, South Carolina. This is a Behind Enemy Lines exclusive, folks. One of our listeners and fans from South Carolina, that I'm not going to mention on air, but you know I'm shouting you out, pal, gave us some photos of the Clinton campaign headquarters in Charleston, South Carolina, where our friend lives nearby. And we did a little digging, a little research, a little milling around to see exactly what the deal with this place is. Now, it's in a strip mall on Savannah Highway in Charleston, South Carolina.
Strip mall.
Which I have no idea how it is. Wait, it gets better.
Hold
better. Your giggities.
I'm not going to laugh.
Hold your giggities.
By the way, can we call our friend from South Carolina Menachem for this? Just to have a name to the face.
Oh, okay, I guess so. I don't know what that's all about, but
I like the name.
You like the name Menachem? Okay, cool. Little known fact, he may be from Marine Park at one point. I'm not so sure. But I'll definitely ask him if he's been there before. Back on topic for a second. The private jokes have got to end to us. We can't do that anymore. We're on air. We're on WNJC now.
Menachem, what's the problem? You can't get ethnic up in here, Gene? Come on.
We're on WNJC.
John Doe. I'm tired of John Doe.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Clinton Charleston headquarters is located conveniently next to the Golden Dragon Massage Parlor, which, if you look on a couple of different websites that I just happened to find through Google search, it's not like I go on these sites anyway on my own and know exactly where they are and bookmarked on my computer.
And it's not like I know they give military discounts over there. What?
They might. I don't know. It's in Charleston, so, check them out down there. Golden Dragon Massage Parlor, which may be known for the erotic massages, right next door to the Clinton headquarters. But hold your giggities a little longer, Russ.
Wait, is this 1996? The Clinton headquarters? You're talking about Hillary, I assume.
Talking about Hillary.
Jeez, all right.
But hold your giggities.
Back to the future.
Because there's more. You see, the Clinton headquarters at this location on Savannah Highway was once itself, I can't believe I'm saying this, a sex shop, Russ. It used to be known as Fun 42. That's FUN-4-2. And it was a sex shop that specialized in sex toys and apparel for one and all. You cannot make this stuff up. Hillary, did you, what's your opinion of this headquarters, Hillary?
I love it.
I'm sure she does.
She loves it.
Hey, Hillary, did Bill have any input into picking the headquarters?
I'm not, I have no idea.
Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up, folks. And for those of you who don't believe us, go to www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us. Check out the article. And there's a whole bunch of pictures there and number matching of the unit in the strip mall and all this stuff. So it's a strip mall with a massage parlor. There used to be a sex shop, Russ.
And if you have any tips, there's also a way to contact us on the website. Send them in. We definitely love it. We'll use your real name if you want, or we'll call you Menachem, whatever you want.
Absolutely right. There's a little contact us section on every page. Use that. People drop us tips all the time. Some of them pan out, some of them don't. This was one that was just too cool, pal.
And Gene, hell of a job doing the research. I mean, all kidding aside, he did do a bunch of, internet searches and found some interesting stuff. Is this a big scandal? No, but it is funny, comical. Great job.
It's not only comical, it is yet another example of the glaring and shocking lack of self-awareness that the entire campaign has over the course of the past couple of months. Not only with the jokes about Snapchat and the messages erasing themselves. Not only the joke that we all know is contrived about wiping the server down with a cloth. My Brooklyn's coming out at me. But now this too on a smaller level, Russ.
Gene, at this point, what difference does it make?
You're right, because you won't be the candidate anyway, according to you, right?
At this point, what difference does it make?
Hillary, at this point, what difference does it make?
I have no idea.
She has no idea. We're going to get back to Hillary. Go ahead.
We're going to get back to Hillary, but we got to talk about Planned Parenthood.
You know what? Before we do that, Russ, we are at halftime here on the show, and it's time to just do a little bit of business before we transition topics. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Behind Enemy Lines Radio. I'm Gene, he's Russ, and while we got you listening, check us out at www.BehindEnemyLinesRadio.us. Join the tens of thousands of people checking out Behind Enemy Lines on Facebook, all the Twitters, at BEL_radio. And by the way, you can now listen to the show on demand by subscribing to our iTunes page. And you can also find us on Spreaker. Just look for Behind Enemy Lines Radio on both of them. And you can subscribe and listen to every show you want to your heart's content. Listen to our jokes, listen to our predictions, listen back to our sound clips. You'll love every minute of it. And finally, go check out www.brooklynYRS.com, the official Brooklyn Young Republicans, where this show originated from. We always thank them for everything they do. And they got a meeting come up next week, Russ. I'm going to be talking about some fun stuff.
I'll be there.
Yeah, like we were at the last meeting, right? Whatever. But anyway, you want to transition topics. I'm going to let you set it up. Go right ahead, sir.
All right, so I'm hoping that the clips are in order here.
Oh, of course they are. I have them numbered for you.
Oh, look at numbers. That's not really my style, but all right, we'll go there. So, for those of you guys who are not following what's going on with this whole Planned Parenthood thing, there's a group putting out videos. They're doing undercover investigations. I wish the government was actually doing this stuff. But, so the series is called Human Capital. If you Google it, go on YouTube, there's all the videos there. The latest one's about 10 minutes long. It's horrifying.
It's the seventh of a string of videos from the Center for Medical Progress. Horrifying isn't even the word, Russ.
Horrifying. So the clips we're going to play you is from the last ones, and from the press release, it basically says the series focuses on the personal narrative of Holly O'Donnell. She was a former blood and, listen to what I'm saying here, by the way, a blood and tissue procurement technician for a company called STEM Express, which was a biotech startup that until last week was partnered with two large Northern California Planned Parenthood affiliates to purchase their aborted fetus parts and resell them for scientific experimentation.
She was an organ harvester. Let's call her what she was.
She was a blood and tissue procurement specialist. And you have to hear what this woman has to say. In this first clip, she describes a heart beating during, I guess, a blood and tissue procurement procedure.
Yeah. Here it is.
Finally, the woman, she calmed down, and the doctor went in to perform the abortion. Takes a little while, and I'm in the hallway. I see the jar come out, goes into the path lab. And Jessica, I can hear, is preparing it, rinsing out the jar, rinsing out the linen, the wrapping that catches it, dumping it in the strainer, rinsing it off, putting water in the pie dish, and getting it ready for the doctor. So then I hear her call my name. Hey, Ollie, come over here. I want you to see something kind of cool. This is kind of neat. So I'm over here, and this is the moment I see it. I'm just flabbergasted. This is the most gestated fetus and closest thing to a baby I've seen. And she's like, okay, I want to show you something. So she has one of her instruments and she just taps the heart and it starts beating. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this fetus and its heart is beating. And I don't know what to think.
I can't believe that.
Its heart is beating.
First of all, that disturbs me.
It's a clump of cells, isn't it?
Well,
isn't this what we're told all the time?
Yeah.
It's a clump of cells.
But it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat.
Come check this out.
Well, strainers and oh my God. I am not a social conservative. Let's get this out of the way right now. I am not one of those people that is out there thumping a Bible, clinging to my gun and all that stuff. I will cling to my gun, but I'm not out there as a social conservative on these issues. This is not my forte. And Russ, I think it's safe to say that this isn't really an issue that is foremost in your mind all the time either. But when it's put in your face like this, how is there even a counter argument for whether the clump of cells that they want to call it is a baby or not?
It's indefensible. And if you watch the video, because we can only play the audio and we only pick the best parts of the audio, like I said, it's a long video. But the video shows what this woman is describing. And it's not a clump of cells. It's not a clump of... Watch the video, people. We have lots of clips, Gene. Let's get to them because we got to get these things moving.
All right, so this
I'm disgusted.
This is another clip here, continuing on in what this woman, Miss O'Donnell, is seeing on the job as a, what's the title again, Russ? I need to hear the title one more time. The people need to hear the title one more time. A blood and tissue procurement technician
for STEM Express.
Unreal. Take a listen to this.
It had a face. It wasn't completely torn up. And its nose was very pronounced. It had eyelids. And its mouth was pronounced. And then, since the fetus was so intact, she said, okay, well, this is a really good fetus, and it looks like we can procure a lot from it. We're going to procure brain.
Here we go again with the
It. So they're going to get the brain now, Gene, because the brain's worth money.
But, again, clump of cells. We're talking about a nose, a mouth, eyelids, a fully formed face, Russ.
By the way, do you remember when George Bush caught hell when he was president, and he said he was against stem cell research?
Absolutely, I remember that.
We remember this, folks. And they said he was this is what liberals do, by the way. They paint you with a brush that is very hard to defend against. He's anti-woman. How is he anti-woman for being anti-stem cell research? Do you idiots listening to this understand what stem cell research is? Do you understand that hearts and brains from unborn babies is what they're talking about here?
And let's be clear, this is not a baby in the first trimester. When you're talking about a fully formed face and a heart that can beat when you palpitate it, you're talking about a fetus that's probably between 20 and 24 weeks at the very earliest,
exactly,
right? And that's a viable human being at that point.
You could talk about the stem cells from fertilization, and it's then it's just a clump of cells. But don't you see that it's a slippery slope? And this is what President Bush was talking about. What is the difference, Gene? What is the day that a clump of cells becomes a baby? Do we know what that day is?
There is argument right now in the medical community. They don't even know. Some people say 20 weeks. Some people say 22 weeks. Some people say 24 weeks.
So let's say they figure it out and they say it exactly 22 weeks. Well, what about 21 weeks, 6 days, 23 hours, and 59 seconds? 59 minutes, 59 seconds. What about 2 seconds before that? How can they ever know? How can they ever know? And if you look, again, go to the videos, please. You can, I see people posting links to, CNN in the chat room. They're not going to show you the videos of what these fetuses or the its look like. Go look at them.
Like a Stephen
Look
King
at it. For all you people who are pro-abortion till the bitter end, go look at these pictures. Yeah. And you come back and tell me that that's a clump of cells.
This is one time when radio doesn't do this justice, but we're going to get to the third clip right now.
So it's like, okay, so what you do is you go through the face. I'm thinking, no, I don't want to do this. And she takes the scissors and she makes a small incision right here and goes, I would say, to maybe a little bit through the mouth. And she's like, okay, can you go the rest of the way? And I'm like, yes. And I didn't want to do this. And so she gave me the scissors and told me that I have to cut down the middle of the face. And I can't even describe what that feels like.
Cut down the middle of the face. So now it's gone from it to now it has a face, Russ.
Cutting open the face. So a clump of cells has a face.
How can that be?
It had a nose, it had eyelids, a fully formed face. They have to get the brain out. What are we talking about here? What is this thing that we're talking about?
We all know the answer to what it is.
Would you...
We're slowly evolving to it, aren't we?
Cecil the freaking Lion brought outrage with leftists in this country, and rhinos, I might add, and Republicans in the House and Senate. But cutting open a human face to get the brain out doesn't raise an eyelid with some people. And they're justifying, even in this chat room. Disgraceful. Gene, keep moving, please.
And I remember picking it up and finishing going through the rest of the face. And Jessica picking up the brain and putting it in the container with the media. And parafilming it. And she left and she's like, okay, you can clean it up. And I'm just sitting there like, what did I just do? And that was the moment I knew I couldn't work for the company anymore. And it was, even if it's going to be good, if that could have been the cure for some kind of disease, then I wish, even if it was, I wish I still wouldn't have done it. I don't want to be that person.
She wouldn't have done it even if it was a cure. And by the way, for everybody out there saying, well, what's the alternative? If we're going to be doing all these scientific advancements in medicine, what's the alternative? There are alternatives out there. You can use the blood from the umbilical cord after the baby is born, and you can get stem cells from that. You can create stem cells in a laboratory setting. There are alternatives to killing a baby. Science can advance on with that material just as much as they could with killing a baby and taking its organs out of it. Him, her, or her. I can't.
Or it, or
it. I'm on the it train because they got me going. I'm riled up on this stuff, Russ.
Gene, have you ever noticed the hypocrisy of the left? The very same savages that have no problem cutting a baby's face open to get the brain out and sell it on the open market are 100% against the death penalty. Every time. Go to Starbucks, and I often use these kind of references. Go to Starbucks, talk to the girl with the green hair, writing poetry on her Apple laptop, whatever the heck is popular nowadays with those kind of kids, and ask her about abortion. And she's all for it. Till the bitter end. 8, 9 months, born, 3 days old, whatever it is. Abortion till the bitter end. Then bring up the topic of the death penalty for a convicted murderer who cut up a kid, ate him, had sex with it. Death penalty, no. It's wrong. The state shouldn't kill people. We got to reform these people.
And then go to that same person and ask the same thing. Well, what about someone who's not here in this country legally and that ends up killing somebody and is in the city? Should they be turned in and punished? No, not at all.
Jeb Bush, they're here for love.
We have more compassion for people who break the law and criminals than we do for the killing of unborn babies. And that is a measure of what our society looks like right now.
And the sad part is I don't even like that term anymore about saying unborn babies. Because what they do is force these babies to be born and kill them. When you see the videos, these are babies. They're moving. Their legs are moving. Their arms are moving.
And
their mouths are moving.
And this is a real issue because now we're talking like, Kermit Gosnell stuff from Philadelphia and things like that.
And if you look at the video, they describe how they inject, and I forgot the name of the substance they inject in these babies.
I know this. It's digoxin.
Yeah.
Digoxin.
To kill the baby before they pull it out of the mother so that they don't violate federal partial birth abortion
You know
laws.
what digoxin does, Russ? It speeds up the baby's heart till the heart explodes.
Oh, well, that's just wonderful. Isn't that humane? Cecil the lion. My heart breaks for it. It. The lion's an it, by the way. That's a freaking it. But guess what? If Cecil was a female lion and we tried to abort a lion fetus for its stem cells to do research to save people from diseases, leftists and rhinos would be in an uproar. You can't do that to a baby lion. It's not an it. When it's something like a Cecil?
There will be protests outside of scientific labs for working with lab mice.
We give lions names.
Yet, when there is a protest outside of an abortion clinic, that's wrong, but saving the mice is humane.
The government is supposed to protect the weakest amongst us. And who's weaker than these people? No one.
Let's continue on here. This has to be heard.
And we're picking him up with the gloves because it was too heavy. The pie dish was this, and he was big, like the pie dish, and I couldn't take it and put it in the strainer and put it in. I couldn't. It was just too big. And I opened the biohazard container, and it's almost full. It's almost full. I'm holding him in my hands. I'm like, oh my god, this is just, what am I doing? And I take him, I put him in. And I remember he got stuck on the lid. And it turned around and his buttocks was in the air and his 2 feet were dangling out. And I remember having to pick each one of his feet up and put him in the container and close the lid. And that was the hardest experience I've had there.
So, I don't know if you people notice, but this woman starts off this video referring to it as a fetus. By the end of the video, she comes around, and it's his legs, his buttocks, the baby. She had to throw that baby in the garbage with its legs sticking out.
Throw the baby in a strainer.
A strainer.
And then put it into a container that it wouldn't fit into. So we're not just talking about a clump of cells. I'm tired of saying clump of cells. We're talking about something that's bigger than the container they wanted to put it in. We're not talking about something tiny here. We're talking about something that could have lived on its own.
It was alive.
Given medical technology.
The heart was beating, Gene. The heart was beating.
With palpitation on it, absolutely, the heart would be beating.
Holly O'Donnell can barely live with herself from what she did and seen. The thing is, Americans are not seeing it. And for any illogical savage, I'm going to call you a savage because that's what you are, that would say there's a cost-benefit analysis to this. How many lives can we potentially save by slaughtering babies? I mean, this is insanity that we even have to talk about this. Anyone who would compare that, or even entertain that notion of a cost-benefit analysis for this, you're a savage. A barbarian. Because you could use the same argument with, well, Hitler had to do human experimentation on the Jews during World War II. Think of how many countless medical advancements we had from doing experimentation on living people that they thought were subhuman. So they thought they were subhuman, so it was fine to do experiments on the Jews in World War II. So now these clumps of cells that you're saying are subhuman, which they won't even admit that they're subhuman anymore, because now they're having a hard time with that. Watch the video. If I was running for president, and don't doubt a guy like Trump, by the way, he might pull a card like this, because they say Trump is changing his stance on issues. He's evolving as he gets more involved in politics. He never watched an abortion video before trying to run for office.
But he's already fallen into the Planned Parenthood trap. He said, I won't fund abortions, which already they're not funded anyway, but if they have other things that are beneficial to women and families and employment minorities, I'll fund that section.
Okay, I guarantee you he changes his position on this, and not changes. This is going to be a legitimate evolution. Again, I'm not, by the way, I'm joking around that I'm a Trump guy. I'm really not. I think Ted Cruz would make the best president of the people that were left running for sure. But Donald Trump would not make a bad president. And I guarantee you Donald Trump's a logical person. Abortion was never a major issue for him. Show him the video that I just watched, and my voice is cracking here. No one can watch that video that is a human being, a member of the human race, and not see it for what it is, and not change their position if they have an illogical position of supporting abortion past anything more than the first month. Anything more than the first month, you're illogical at that point.
Well, okay. There are some arguments that are coming at us in the chat talking about how funding doesn't already go to abortion. We've talked about this on past shows. Yes, the government does not directly fund abortions through any monies given to Planned Parenthood. But what they do is they free up private funds that were already allocated to something else to be used for abortions. You squeeze out the money any way you can. And by the way, the other argument is, I'm going to let you get a second here, Russ. I know you're chomping at the bit.
So I think you're going to steal my thunder on this, but go ahead.
But you can also, what they say, what's the goal, what's the accomplishment? You're not going to stop abortions, right? Well, guess what? You're going to stop my money going to those projects. I'm a libertarian at heart, too. If you want to go and do this, and it's legal, I can't stop you from how you spend your money. I can disagree with you. I could pray for you if that's what I'm into at that given week. Given me, probably not. But you know what? That's apparently the law says it's your choice. But at this point, my money is being used to subsidize Planned Parenthood, and that is unacceptable given these videos.
So you spoke about your money, Gene. Let's talk about your money real quick. In 2013. Planned Parenthood got $540 million in government grants. Over $500 million in 2013. Now, those are government grants going to Planned Parenthood. You could play the accounting games like Gene said, which will free up money for abortions. Let's talk about political contributions from the Planned Parenthood PAC. First of all, Gene, take a guess here. What percentage of political contributions from the Planned Parenthood PAC went to Republican candidates?
I'm going to guess 0.
0%. So, 100% of the political contributions from the Planned Parenthood PAC in 2014 went to Democrats. $600,000 went to Democratic candidates. So don't you see, folks? It's just like the unions, but worse. These people are actually killing people. It's a shell game. It's a money laundering scheme. I throw $600,000 in the Democrats who are running for office pockets. They get elected. They throw some money and they put some money back in my pocket if I'm Planned Parenthood. That's all it is. That's all it is. And when Republicans don't stand up to this nonsense, where the hell, by the way, is Mitch McConnell and John Boehner?
You know what happened in the
Senate? Are they alive still?
Here's what happened in the Senate. Filibuster. The vote was taken to defund Planned Parenthood. It was 53 to 46 was the vote. Guess who was on the 46 side? All Dems.
The ones who get the political contributions from Planned Parenthood?
There you go. Shocking, isn't it?
By the way,
and then they did a filibuster and had to require 60 votes. It got filibustered out.
And when is shutting the government down appropriate? When do we think about shutting down the government? Is it when Obama's acting extra constitutionally? Is it when we're cutting babies' faces open and taking their brains out with government funds? Without tax dollars? When is it appropriate to shut down the government? What the hell did we elect Republicans in the House and Senate for? What is the point of having them there? If we're never gonna ever put a bill on the president's desk that he disagrees with. He still has yet to veto a bill from the Republicans that have been elected since January. Great job, Johnny Boehner and Mitch McConnell. You're really doing everything you guys promised to do. The only one with any balls in this whole thing is Donald Trump. I'm going to say it. The only one.
Well, he has yet to show me said balls on this issue. We got one last clip. It's very, very short, and it really brings around full circle to what Russ was about to say about what Miss O'Donnell was saying from the beginning of the video to this point.
I remember holding that fetus in my hands when everybody else was busy, and started crying and opened the lid and put it back in. It's just really hard knowing that you're the only person who's ever going to hold that baby.
The only person who's ever going to be able to hold that baby. Wow.
And I know people, Gene, and this is a problem with a lot of our friends, and, it's the year 2015. It is what it is. But just because you know someone who may have had an abortion, or you yourself may have had an abortion, it doesn't mean that you have to take an illogical position. I'll be brutally honest. In the past, I have driven after having a few drinks, and I should not have done that. But you're not going to see me running around taking the illogical position saying there's nothing wrong with doing that. Just because I've done it and I've had friends that have done it. So, you have to be intellectually honest here, folks. It's wrong. And you could point to Roe versus Wade. The woman who was in Roe versus Wade regrets that Supreme Court decision. There's not a logical person who has read the Constitution that can point to anywhere in the Constitution where that even makes sense, that decision. If it were to ever come up, it would be overturned. What's the classic thing? It's settled law. It's not settled law. Blacks were property once, the Supreme Court said. Separate but equal was what the Supreme Court said once upon a time. It's not settled law. They're unelected idiots on the Supreme Court most of the time, and it can be overturned. The Constitution's quite clear in most cases, and the justices on the Supreme Court have to twist and turn to get these things to be settled law. There's no such thing as settled law.
Let's bring this around full circle now, Russ, because we have a clip of Hillary Clinton talking about Planned Parenthood, right?
She can't possibly defend Planned Parenthood. Please tell me she can't defend the indefensible. Please tell me this.
Let's listen and find out, shall we?
I don't have all the facts, but Planned Parenthood has apologized for the insensitivity of the employee who was taped, and they will continue to answer questions for Congress and others. But for more than a century, Planned Parenthood has provided essential services for women. not just reproductive health services, including access to affordable family planning, but cancer screenings, for example, and other health checkups. And I think it is unfortunate that Planned Parenthood has been the object of such a concerted attack for so many years. And it's really an attack against a woman's right to choose, to make the most personal, difficult decisions that any woman would face based on her faith and the medical advice that she's given. So I'm hoping that this situation will not further undermine the very important services that Planned Parenthood provides across our country.
But Secretary Clinton, what about Obamacare? Isn't it already covered?
Now that we have the Affordable Care Act, there are options for a lot of women to seek medical care that didn't have those before. But Planned Parenthood still remains a very important part of the whole health care delivery system, particularly, but not exclusively, for poor women. And I just strongly believe that we need to make sure that it can continue to do that into the future.
She screwed up her own point, Russ. Planned Parenthood doesn't need to exist now that you have Obamacare, liberals, right? Isn't this all supposed to be covered under the Affordable Care Act? Wasn't women's reproductive... I remember Sandra Fluck going to Congress and testifying how she needs the contraceptions covered, and it needs to be paid for by the government. I remember all through the 2012 election, women saying that, reproductive rights matter, and it needs to be, and it's already in Obamacare. If it's already there, why do you need Planned Parenthood?
I'm stumped. I don't know. Why do we need Planned Parenthood? What other services do they provide you? Let me tell you one service they don't provide. Women's health issues, right? What would be like a major women's health issue? I see people wearing these ribbons all the time.
Cancer screening?
I would imagine mammograms would be like right up there, right?
Yep.
They don't do them. So what does Planned Parenthood do for women that can't be done by another organization? It's a front group for abortion. What is the name of this place? Planned Parenthood. That tells you all you need to know. And it's Planned Parenthood. Who are they helping have kids here? What parents are they pushing for?
Well, it's not like they do embryonic.
It's Planned Non-Parenthood. That's what it is. And how could anyone be for? Forget about the fact that they're killing babies for a minute. This sounds crazy. Put that to the side for a second. They're using tax dollars to do it. This is clearly a controversial issue. Can anyone not say that this is controversial?
By the way, there are people in the chat room right now listing different services that Planned Parenthood can provide. I defy you to find one hospital that will not provide the exact same services that are being listed right now. Things like psychological help, things like weight management, things like gynecological visits. It's already provided by municipal hospitals, private hospitals. Come on already.
Either way, I'm going to have to censor myself here, but my response to that was, who the F cares? Who the F cares what other services they provide? So if Adolf Hitler gave children measles shots, it was okay to kill 6 million Jews? Like, what are you saying? Are you utterly insane? I'm about to shut the chat room down. I cannot deal with people who are this insane, Gene.
I hear you, pal. Normally we would go to the Sharpton break, but we're actually running out of time here. So
you need psych help. Whoever wrote that Planned Parenthood gives psychological help. You need psychological help. And go ask Holly McDowell, or whatever the hell her name is, how much psychological help she's going to need after she cut through a baby's face to get its brain out.
That sounded like a final thought to me. Do you have something else? You're done? All right.
Sweating.
Well, you know what? I need to end things on a fun note. I need to end things on a really fun note because we have not talked about every presidential candidate here on this show, Russ. There's at least one other that we need to talk about. And that is the bursting campaign of the candidate known as D's Nuts. Yes, there's a candidate out there with this name who is polling well in North Carolina, in Iowa, and in Minnesota. D's nuts. Your next president. Could you imagine that? President Nuts, Russ.
D's nuts. That's
there's
awesome.
There's also one, I think, called Sydney's Voluptuous Bottom or something like that. Another candidate. It's the silly season, folks. And it's going to be getting even sillier as Behind Enemy Lines starts covering presidential debates and traveling around the country. And just an addendum to the final thought, as we're talking about some social conservative issues here, Behind Enemy Lines will be going back to the Value Voters Summit in the end of September, where I'm sure these and many other issues that are important to social conservatives will be discussed. We'll be covering it again. We'll be announcing who we'll be having on the show in interviews and all that fun stuff as the weeks pass and get closer to that time. Russ, you got something else, or are we ready to shut this sucker down?
Quick buffoon of the week thing, / final thought. I just want to amend something real quick. I wasn't here for a couple weeks.
These nuts is going to be my guy. So
These nuts. I haven't been here for a while, folks. So Megyn Kelly, I'm not nominating her this week because what she did was a couple weeks ago. But Megyn Kelly is a buffoon. Listen, she's immature. She's not ready for prime time. The question she asked Donald Trump, she ought to be ashamed of herself. This was not an interview. This was a debate. And if I need to teach people what a debate is, I will next show. A debate, you ask an open-ended question and let candidates give their ideas. I don't give a rat's ass what Megyn Kelly thinks about anything when it comes time for a presidential debate. You want to interview these candidates? Get them on your crackhead show. You are not ready for prime time, Ms. Kelly. You are a disgrace.
I disagree, but that's Russ Galloway.
Buffoon of the week this week, real quick. I know we're running out of time.
Go ahead.
So on Breitbart.com, an investigative blogger has accused Sean King, who is a key figure in the Black Lives Matter movements, Black Lives Matter, of misleading media icon Oprah Winfrey by pretending to be biracial in order to qualify for an Oprah scholarship
Here we
to
go again.
historically black Morehouse College. The blogger says King is white and has been lying about his ethnicity for years. Wow. What's up with all these white people trying to be black?
Unreal. All right, so those are your choices. We'll get the poll up.
Sean King. No, Sean King. Yeah, Sean King.
That's
You're
the
white,
guy's
dude.
name. You got it.
You're white.
Dude, you're white. It's okay. So Sean King or D's nuts? That's who you're going to be choosing.
And Megyn Kelly, you're a disgrace.
Come on. All right, we're going to shut this sucker down. You ready to shut it down, Russ, or what here?
Yeah, I'm crossing my legs like Megyn Kelly. That's her claim to fame. You're a piece of trash.
Oh, man. All right, folks. Thanks for listening to this week's show. We're going to see
I got blood coming out of my eyes. Go ahead, Gene.
We are out of here. Good night, folks.
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A Rock Radio production. Copyright 2015. Back in 7 days. Out.
The leader in talk radio on the internet. Right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.